Moin Moin aus Deutschland. Welcome back, everybody. It's lovely to have you back for the 10th episode of Climate Impact Storytelling. I'm Maren Krings, and I'm really glad to have you here. With this series, I share stories that reflect my deep love for this planet and humanity. And I hope each episode brings you closer to the growing community of change makers, solution seekers, and earth stewards. While I'm on the move, I find inspiration in the curious, often unexpected things I encounter. And today's story is no exception. This episode is all about soil, the very ground that feeds us, and yet one we so often damage through toxic waste and neglect. As our population grows and open clean land becomes increasingly scarce, we must find ways to heal the soil, to make it safe, healthy, and productive once again. Our journey takes us to Belgium, a small European country known for beer, chocolate, diamonds, and perhaps less famously, for some of the most polluted soils in Europe. In October of last year, I had the chance to meet with visionary scientists and entrepreneurs who are pioneering an elegant nature-based solution, phytoremediation, using hemp plants to clean contaminated soils. Join me as we explore how this method offers hope for reversing damage and restoring our relationship with the earth beneath us.
So it's a former fire brigade building that is in the neighborhood, and the fire brigade has left it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's in a small part outside.
This is Mieke Gevaert, project leader at Sogend, Ghent's city development company. She oversees strategic urban transformations that make the city more sustainable, accessible, and community-oriented. With nearly 280,000 inhabitants, Ghent is Belgium's second largest municipality. With 85,000 students and an overall growing population, the city struggles to provide enough space for housing and industry. Under Gevaert's leadership, Ghent has rolled out forward-thinking mobility policies, including 51 hectares of new bike lanes, reducing car traffic and promoting green transportation. Converting the historic bank building we're in into Sogend's new offices, as well as the redevelopment of the Oude Dokken, the old docks, have been part of Gevaert's responsibilities, while working on restoring and redeveloping the old maritime industrial area around Ghent's 3 oldest docks into a new waterfront residential area, including the demolition of the old Interbeton concrete plant. She has been working closely with Eddy Wille. This is Eddy Paul Henry Wille, a senior advisor at OVAM, the public waste agency of Flanders, and a brownfield negotiator for the Flemish government with VLAIO, the region's innovation and entrepreneurship agency. With a background in geology and human ecology, Wille has been a key figure in soil remediation in Belgium since 1991. He played a central role in building OVAM's soil remediation department and has held leadership positions in soil investigation, data management, and remediation actions. He authored the foundational 1999 Memorandum on Brownfield Redevelopment, which led to the Flemish Brownfield Covenant Law in 2007. Since then, he has negotiated over 50 brownfield projects and continues to advise the Flemish Brownfield Board. Wille also leads OVAM's work on enhanced landfill mining and has contributed to multiple EU projects on brownfield and landfill rehabilitation. In 2021, he co-authored the WHO Europe Planner's Guide, Protecting Health Through Urban Redevelopment of Contaminated Sites.
Investigation in order to find out, okay, is it really an option? For example, it's not over here, but a bit more to the north, you have a very large gypsum landfill. It's about 70 hectares. It's quite large. We have put solar panels on it, and I think they're producing about 15 or 16 megawatts on that landfill.
And this is Jeremy Hale, co-founder of the Advanced Botanical and Biomass Research Institute, ABRI, and Natural Rebound, LLC, and a member of Catalyst 2030, a United Nations-affiliated network advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. As a scholar practitioner and international consultant, he operates at the intersection of policy, research, and regenerative development, supporting indigenous and climate-impacted communities worldwide. Hale specializes in soil and biomass analysis and the remediation of contaminated environments through the phyto- and bioremediation strategies using native plant species. As part of the Drawdown Hemp team, finalists in the X Prize carbon removal competition, he helped map hemp's potential for carbon sequestration and ecological restoration. He is currently in Belgium to deepen his expertise in remediating heavily contaminated sites through scientific exchange with Eddy Wille and C-Biotech.
This is still contaminated.
And last but not least, Ingmar Nopens. A Belgian scientist with multiple degrees in bioscience engineering, he specializes in environmental technology and applied biological sciences. Since founding C-Biotech in the summer of 2022, he has served as its managing director. Transitioning from academia to the private sector, Nopens set out to turn scientific expertise into real-world impact, developing bio-based, sustainable and circular construction products while sequestering carbon and cleaning heavily PFOS polluted soils.
So C-Biotech is part of the Cordeel group, and Cordeel is a big construction group in Flanders in Belgium. We have C Energy working on, for example, making construction sites more sustainable, and that's why they we also have an innovation cell with different companies, and we are one of those. Within the company, we have the construction, we also have architects, we have the calculation units. The problem with this is that they're all different disciplines, and if you talk about bio-based circularity, sustainability, for those people, for many people, they have no clue what the difference is. So it's all a big mix. So that's why I want to emphasize that this is really important. So 40% carbon footprint, think the concrete example that I gave earlier, the cement, that's where a lot of this is going to. Energy, there's a lot of very long supply chains going all over the globe. That's something that is also problematic. And then the material usage, 50% of virgin materials are going there. Okay, so these numbers really struck me and also motivated me to put my shoulders under this story. But I think if we're going to replace all the concrete with wood, we will end up with a planet without trees. Let's say legislation that is also coming, but within our company we want to be also a kind of a driver. This is also an important, let's say, subsidy, name if you want to call it like that, or a tool to also get a reward of the negative carbon impact that you can create with these materials. The long supply chains, we really need to get rid of that. We really need to try and make very local supply chains and grow your products as much as possible locally.
C-Biotech was founded in direct response to the Belgian PFOS scandal uncovered in 2021. During our visit with Managing Director Ingmar Nopens and co-founder Frederik Westrate, we discovered how deeply the company's mission is tied to the urgent need for industrial soil remediation. Their innovations range from durable traffic poles made from hemp composites to prefabricated building materials using fast-growing mycelium. Central to their approach is the idea of combining phytoremediation with the production of climate-relevant materials, offering a new model for how industries take responsibility after vacating contaminated sites. One of their most promising breakthroughs targets PFOS, part of the persistent and toxic family of pair- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. In partnership with the cannabis sector, C-Biotech developed an organic fertilizer called Hempurizer Plus, which accelerates the uptake of PFOS by up to 30 times. This process breaks down long-chain PFOS into short-chain PFAS, which are then absorbed by hemp plants, allowing for the cleanup of heavily contaminated soils within a single growing cycle. This solution is not only effective and scalable, it's also carbon negative and cuts the cost of traditional remediation by up to 80%. C-Biotech is now working to bring this knowledge into policy circles, advocating for its integration into EU law and beyond.